freestyle travel. Hey everybody, this is a good one. I am in England, Southampton at the moment. Had no idea I was going to be here a couple weeks ago, but this is where I'm at. So last episode I was in Phoenix doing the whole trip hopping thing, working on that. So I got a few things to tell you about that. Of course, it's pretty good. And then just getting here to England was cutting it close because I had to get to Vegas for the flight, and I cut it close. So one of the most relieved I've ever been to get a ride. So things worked out. Spoiler, but I'll tell you the story getting through the desert there. And why I'm here in England and all of that. So just a few things on trip hopping. So I was there in Phoenix for about a month, a little more, and mentioned some of the new features and stuff. But the biggest thing since the last episode is that it is now on Android, which is pretty exciting. I've been using the Android app for a long time now, but now I got the green light from Google to push it to the live Google Play Store. So yes, anyone with an Android device, phone, tablet, whatever, can now download the native app. So super cool. If you've got Android and you do that, of course, if you have iPhone, you can still use it. You just got to go to triphopping.com. It's just gotten so much better in the last month. All the stuff I got done. It's pretty awesome. But if you do download the app, there's a few things you might not notice right away, but you'll be getting notifications, which is obviously pretty cool. If someone sends you a message or comments on one of your trips or whatever, you get a notification, which is obviously pretty nice. But also I made email notifications way better, more reliable too. So if you are using the website, you'll still get an email if someone messages you. But somewhat kind of hidden, or you might not notice, is if you're on the map with the Android app, there's a row of icons on the right for the different layers you can turn on, and one of them is a thumb. And go figure, if you hit that thumb, it'll show hitchhiking spots close by to wherever you are on the map. And there's about 60,000 of those spots around the world. So kind of no matter wherever you're at, from all the old and new HitchWiki data, HitchWiki maps, now on HitchMap too. So all those spots right there on trip hopping. For technical reasons, that just works on the app right now. Super cool. And then kind of one of my favorite features, and something that could just be a standalone app by itself, is that if you go into your settings, you can import your whole phone book. So anyone in your regular phone book, contacts on your phone, if they have anything in the address field, even if it just says Phoenix or if it's their address, they'll now show up on your map all the time, which is fucking awesome, actually. It's just really cool to be, I'm here in England right now, and just to look at the map and glance, and maybe I'm not even thinking to look for somebody, but because I'm looking at the map, I see, oh shit, this person lives over here in Bristol. I haven't talked to them in 3 years or something. We shoot them a message. Super, super cool. And actually, because it relies on your regular phone contacts, it sort of encourages you. I've since gone back, I'm like, I should add more people's addresses, or at least their town, into that, native phone contacts. So super cool, which just means even your friends who aren't using trip hopping or never will, you can still see them on trip hopping, at least for yourself, on the map. So tons of other improvements that I made just on speed and good stuff, and adding Reddit style advice that shows up where you need it. So I don't know, I might add a Salt Lake Express shuttle, which is a shuttle that goes between Vegas and Salt Lake and some places in Idaho. Just added that. So if you're doing a search from Salt Lake City to Vegas, that might pop up. And just a way for people to leave advice for each other and post your travel and YouTube channel, your Instagram stuff, or your podcast, or I just posted something about the UK because I was coming here that I didn't know that earlier, just this January, you suddenly have to get this electronic authorization to come to the UK if you're from the US or a bunch of other countries. I didn't know that. I saw it right before I came here. Like I said, that just started a couple months ago. So that was good. It's 10 or $12 to get it, and then it lasts 2 years. Anyways, it's a little piece of information that you might want to know if you're coming this way. So anyone can post that kind of stuff. Yeah, I can go on, and I will continue to go on and on over time about trip hopping. I just love it. I use it all the time. Hope you use it. It's cool to see more people using it now that the Android app is on there. So now I've got friends going on there, leaving references and posting their trips, and it's just cool to see who's going where, when, and all that other good stuff. Oh, yeah. I'll wait until it actually goes through. But I made kind of a partnership with another company that's going to be pretty exciting once I get that new feature on, but I'll wait until that's going in the coming weeks. So yeah, needless to say, I'm excited about all that, and that's what I was doing in Phoenix, but then something came up and it was time to move. So yeah, let's get into why I'm in England and how I got here. So yeah, like I said, I'm in England, which a couple weeks ago was not even on the radar. I'm drinking this Vibrant Forest Brewery beer right now. I'm pretty sure it's fairly local. I'm at a friend's place that I haven't seen in a while, and I'll get to that too. She's been on the pod. She was on one of the original episodes, actually. I'll just say it right now, India Jane. So if you go back, one of the single-digit episodes, she was on a couple in a row. Met her in Nepal, and yeah, now I'm here. So anyways, yeah, I was there in Phoenix working on trip hopping stuff, and my friend Molly got in touch with me and asked if I would be interested in helping with her project here in England, if she was able to facilitate a ticket for me, which is kind of exactly what I did last year, except for in Ireland with her. She wanted me to help shoot some video and stuff for her project, which is like teaching yoga instructors trauma-informed teaching for yoga instructors, if that makes sense. Just and there's different like classes and stuff that she does, and workshops, and you know, a lot of different reasons there's a video needed, and I can do that kind of thing. So I helped her last year, and then it just came up again this year, not in Ireland, but she's doing something here in the south of England. Asked if I'd be down. I said sure, and next thing I knew, I had a plane ticket to England. And the cheapest plane ticket, closest to where I was from Vegas, not too far from Phoenix. So I was like, all right, let's do it. So I stayed in Phoenix for like, a few more days longer, and kicked it with Larry, and actually did meet up with Molly, and was like, all right, I got to get to Vegas, but my free room situation there in Vegas is no more. Well, they still technically say they give me free rooms, but I have to pay the resort fee. It's the whole thing, and the resort fee is like $50, which is also like shenanigans. I think they were trying to change that law, because can you imagine if you were traveling here and you see this hotel room for like however much, $30, $80, and then you get there, and this happens to everybody, and then they're like, okay, yeah, it's $80, like plus 50 for this resort fee. It's like, what the fuck? Like, really throws people off and pisses people off. But anyways, yeah, that's the situation with me right now, is that they'll give me a free room, but make me pay that fee, which they didn't normally do. So I'm like, all right, well, I'm not going to do that. Because the flight was at around 5 p.m. the day I was going to fly out. So had I been able to get a free room, the idea would be to hitchhike up there a day or two early and just head to the airport. But that not being the case, I was like, all right, let me get as close as I can. So Laughlin, Nevada, also a casino town I've been to, is not as crazy with those fees and still offers the free rooms, and was giving me free stuff. So anyways, like their little fee was going to be $15, but they were going to give me $35 in gambling credits. So I'm like, all right, well that balances out. So got a late start. Didn't start hitchhiking out of the Phoenix area until like 3 or 4 p.m., which is kind of late to get going. And I kind of didn't think I would make it to Laughlin in one night, and I did not. Take a sip of this little beer here. Tasty. It's a Goza I'm drinking. Give this beer a little shine. Yeah, I already said Vibrant Forest Brewery. It's a gooseberry and pear goza she had in the fridge for me. Kind of refreshing. Did a bunch of walking today. So yeah, I got dropped off in the spot that I typically go to when I'm heading that direction. Larry usually drives me out there up on the 303. If you're ever hitchhiking out of Vegas, it's a fairly obvious spot. They're out of Phoenix, rather. 303 and the 60 going that way. And sure enough, I got a ride pretty quick. I was like, oh, hell yeah. And this guy was actually going all the way to Salt Lake City through Vegas. I was like, damn, I really wish I had the hookup in Vegas. Because my flight wasn't the next day, but the day after. So I rode with him as far as the turnoff past Kingman. And by the time he dropped me off, it's like 25 miles from Laughlin. But it was also sunset. So I'm like, all right, I got like 30 minutes realistically to catch a ride, and I did not. So I'm just walking through. It's called Golden Valley. It's a town. It's a stretch of like, I don't know, 10 miles of a kind of a town. Stores here and there, but definitely just out there in the desert. And yeah, sure enough, it just got dark and I did not get a ride. And once it gets dark, it's like borderline pointless to keep hitchhiking, but I kept going because I was like, there's kind of places to camp around here, but it's still early-ish, even though it's dark, and I'm like, what else am I going to do? So I just walked and walked and walked until like 11 p.m. when I finally got past like the whole 10-mile stretch or whatever, and was just like, yeah, this is obviously not happening. Just in the dark, it's like people don't see you sometimes at all, or not until they're passing you with the headlights, and people get the heebie-jeebies in the dark. There's a lot of reasons why you might not get picked up in the dark, but once in a while it happens. I gave it a shot. Didn't work out. So I camped in like a wash there in the desert, under like an overpass kind of spot, so pretty well hidden spot. Camped out. Kind of bummed I didn't make it all the way. But sure enough, yeah, I kind of slept in. Why not? And got on the road, and then in the daylight, I got a ride in like 10 or 15 minutes. I'm like, the difference, yeah, night and day. Hitchhiking. Take a sip of beer on that. So this guy who picked me up was actually going to Laughlin just to do a little bit of gambling. He was telling me some stories. He'd gone through a divorce a while back and tried out being homeless, is the way he put it, in Vegas and stuff, and said parts of it he really enjoyed, just being homeless, the freedom of it, and he didn't realize it was going to be like that, and he wasn't traveling at all. He was just, wandering around Vegas and looking for a different place to kind of sleep every night, and got to know the different spots where they were serving up food and junk like that, and anyways, he said he did it for a while till it got old, and then, it's on a different path now. But anyways, he was heading to Laughlin, and yeah, it was so close. That's why it was a bummer. It's always a bummer not to make it to your destination when you're that close. It's like just far enough that you can't walk there, like 20 miles. You could walk 20 miles, but like in 7 hours or something like that, maybe a little less or more depending on how you're going. Yeah, it's just a bummer to be so close, but so far. But yeah, anyway, so I got there in the morning. And my flight was the next day, and in my head, I was like, it's a little risky, but like to not just get to Vegas the night before, big flight. Just knowing I'd be letting some people down if I didn't make the flight, that was just in my head. But I'm like, I don't know, well, it's easier just to stay here in a place where I got a place, and rather than get to Vegas, and I don't know, stealth camping in Vegas, kind of lame. That dude was talking about it being homeless in Vegas, but he also said that he got used to sleeping just on the sidewalk, and he's like, yeah, no one really bothers you. And I'm like, yeah, most of the time not, but I wouldn't sleep too well just out in the open there. So, yeah, checked in, got the free room, except for, the $15 little fee. But then, like I said, they gave me the $35 in free play, which I, within 10 minutes turned into 25 actual dollars. So boom, there you go. Covered the 15, 17 bucks plus a little extra. So it's like I got paid to sleep there. So not taking any chances, I woke up at sunrise, and I was like, all right, let me just get on the road sunrise. And I've hitched this stretch. Anyone who's listening to the podcast, you probably heard a story or three. Over the years, I've hitched that stretch between Laughlin and Vegas many times. Maybe even 10, I don't know, but over 5, something enough. I kind of know what to expect, and I walk to the same spot, and I usually get a ride before a certain spot, and anyways, I started walking, and an hour or so went by, and then a cop stopped me. Cop in SUV. I'd already seen a couple cops in a pickup truck style cop cars pass me, and like a regular kind of cruiser, and this guy was like an SUV kind of thing, and he seemed nice enough, but he was still, being a cop, and he just told me, like, hitchhiking is illegal here, and I actually know the law in Nevada, and it's written in such a way that, like, it's not actually illegal, but it's written like you cannot stand in the highway soliciting a ride, which means you can be off of the highway, like, I don't know, it's like not something, a nuanced part of the law that I'm going to argue with a cop. I just don't make a habit of arguing with cops when they stop me, just because it's better that way. But he's like, where are you going? I was like, I'm trying to get to the airport. I got this flight to England, and he actually told me that there's some sort of shuttle that goes from Laughlin to Vegas, which I've looked up a bunch of times and I've never found. So I don't know if that's for sure or not. Maybe from like the Salvation Army or something like that. But he said it left at 8 a.m., which had already passed. And he's like, well, you can walk back and catch the one tomorrow. I'm like, I don't think you understand. Like, I got a flight tonight, and it cannot be changed. He's like, all right, well, if I see you again or if anyone else calls and you have the thumb out, like, I'll have to write you a ticket the first time. And then if it happens again, I'll have to take you to jail. So now I'm like, oh, shit. I'm like, oh, I can keep walking, right? He's like, you can keep walking. People walk this road all the time, sometimes with like wagons and stuff. I'm like, okay. He's like, yeah, you can travel the road. You just cannot stick out your thumb and solicit a ride. He's like, I like you. I don't care. But if people keep calling, it looks like we're not doing our job. That's the way you put it. So another sip of beer here. So now I'm like, oh shit, we're getting on, I don't know, closer to 10 p.m. or 10 a.m. at this point. Like I said, my flight's at like 5. And so now I'm like, okay, you just took away my thumb. So, and the road is just like long, and the way the sun was, and the fact that there's like 3 different styles of cop cars that I saw, it's like I can't even really look down the road and tell if it's a cop car coming, because I've had this happen in like Wyoming and stuff before, where other places where cops have told me like it's illegal to hitchhike, and what you do is you just keep going and just make sure it's not a cop car coming and stick out your thumb when it's not. But yeah, just the way the roads were, it made it kind of tricky to tell. And then even when traffic was coming your way, like you never know when a cop's going to be driving up from behind you. So it really slowed me down. So I just walked for hours. I walked way further down that road than I ever have hitchhiking in the past. Like I was walking for hours, 5-6 hours or more, just really not sticking my thumb out, taking a couple chances here and there, not getting a ride. And just starting to think like, oh shit, this is like not great. Someone got me a plane ticket to England. They're expecting me, like a whole group of people are kind of counting on me to be there, and I'm like, I don't know what the move is if I don't get out there. And it's not like there's anything. I was out in the middle of the desert, so there's no like, oh fuck it, I guess I'll just like burn the rest of my money and spring for some crazy bus ticket. Like not an option. Like there's just no option. I didn't even have phone service. So even if somehow I had like hundreds of dollars and wanted to do something like dramatic, like call an Uber to go fucking 80 miles to Vegas, 90 miles to Vegas, couldn't even do that. It's just no option, just other than to keep walking and hoping. Right when I was starting to dream up like what that was going to look like, when I definitely didn't make it, a box truck stopped. Fuck, I was so relieved. I ran as fast as I've ever ran, like up to that truck, fucking hopped in. This dude up there, Mexican dude, didn't speak a ton of English, but he sure as shit was able to say he was going to Vegas. I was like, fuck yeah, I don't care where you're going. Like, as long as I get within a decent range of the airport, like, I think I'm still going to make it. And fuck yeah, we just started trucking. We stopped once so he was going to pee, and I was like, oh shit, because we started going down like a different road. I was like, oh damn, I misunderstand. But no, he just was pulling over to take a leak. And then, we got all the way up into Vegas, and he dropped me off like in Tropicana in the 11 or whatever. So still a good 2-hour walk to the airport or whatever, but it was like just enough time. I was like, all right, barely making it, but I'm fucking making it. So relieved to get that ride. And yeah, it just felt awesome after that. So walked on down to the airport, got through security with no issues. I'm always worried about that kind of junk, if you heard the Iceland story or a number of other stories, sometimes I've gotten messed with. But smooth sailing. And then hell yeah, I got on this flight. North Atlantic Airways. If you're looking to get over the Atlantic Ocean these days, it's always some different budget airline that pops up. And at least these days, it seems to be North Atlantic, Norwegian company. Just pouring some more beer from the can. They seem to be the one if you want to get some cheaper flights across the ocean. So that's the move. And it was a straight flight, which is direct flight. Pretty nice coming all the way from Vegas, so all the way across the U.S. and the Atlantic to Gatwick Airport, which at first I was like kind of stoked about. So my friend's thing going on is in Poole, England, which is the south of England. I've been to England, I don't know, half a dozen times or something over the years, but never been to the south. So I'm like, all right, cool, get to go to England, but also go somewhere new. And then Gatwick there's a bunch of airports around London, and Gatwick is the one in the south. So I'm like, oh, that's nice. I can start hitchhiking like south of London and not get caught up in all that shit. But what I didn't realize is that the roads were just, there's no shoulder at all. So once I got out of the maze of the Gatwick airport, actually getting out of Gatwick internationally is like kind of nice. You don't even talk to anybody as far as like visa, passport stuff. Like you literally just get off the plane and follow all the signs, and then eventually there's a little scanner where you just put your passport down for 5 seconds, takes a picture of your face. You never interact with a human. No stamps, no questions, and you're there. You're in England. So that part's kind of nice. But yeah, it feels like you walk like 2 miles, like from the airplane to actually get onto the sidewalk, ultimately. But yeah, so landed around 11 a.m. and that was yesterday. Damn, it was a long stretch. Like that whole stretch from like leaving Phoenix all the way through the desert, getting to Laughlin, getting stranded there in the desert, feeling like I was stranded, not going to make it, and getting all the way there, getting to here. Just felt like a lot. I didn't really sleep much on the plane. So the thing is, Molly's whole yoga thing is in Poole. And thanks to good old trip hopping, the feature I was telling you about earlier, when I was looking at the map, I was like, oh shit, India Jane. She's right there in Southampton, which is like the town just before Poole in the south, like between Gatwick and Poole, like right on the way to where I'm going. And the thing doesn't start till tomorrow, and I got here yesterday, like I said, so there's going to be these couple days. 2017, we'll sip a beer here. This is actually pretty wild, pretty cool. A bunch of you might not know this story, I don't know. So in 2017, I won this contest with Sierra Nevada Brewery. It was like a photo contest, super simple. You upload a photo, and some people vote on it. And the winners get trips, trip of their choosing, and airfare for two to something cool. They did it through some website called The Climb, and I won. It was awesome. I was like, oh fuck yeah! And I got to choose between these trips like all over the world. Like I could have gone to the Galapagos. There was the coolest one I think actually that I would have chose in a vacuum was a kiteboarding like camp in Costa Rica, where you just be like learning how to kiteboard for a week or two, and they put you up in like some place on stilts in the water. I was like, that's fucking badass. But the reason I chose the trip to Nepal, which was also badass, is because I was like, oh, they're paying for airfare. I'm like, Costa Rica, like, I feel like I could get there anytime, you know. Probably spend more time in the U.S. than anywhere else, and it's just like, I don't know, like a flight from Florida to Costa Rica, you can sometimes find for like $40, but like definitely under $100. So I'm like, I might as well take advantage of this opportunity and get a more expensive flight to somewhere since they're paying for it. And it was cool. Like it was described as this like 2-week adventure trip with like whitewater rafting and paragliding and elephants and junk. And yeah, like I said, everything paid for and lodging and food and junk. So I was like, oh, it's going to be fucking awesome. So chose that. And like I said, it was a trip for 2. So I was like, hit up some girl I'd been with recently, asked her about it, and then asked some other friends, and then finally like just posted like on my social media, just like, who wants to fucking go? Who wants to use this? Can anyone want to come with me? And like everyone wants to go on this trip, you know? Like, of course. But so few people are able to actually say yes to taking 2 weeks off of whatever it is that they're doing, you know? Unfortunately, it's just how a lot of people are. Not everyone just like randomly gets asked if they want to go to England a week later is here. Like, so yeah, even something as awesome as that and everything paid for, 2-week adventure trip, just no one was able to do it. So it was just getting closer and closer, and because it was months and months later from when I like won that thing to when I was able to actually go there, because I was using they just sent me the money for the plane tickets, so I was just using it bit by bit. Like I actually had a flight from Vegas to Hawaii, and I was in Hawaii for, I don't know, a month, and went from there to Australia. I was there for a month or 2, and then to Indonesia and Cambodia and junk. And just, I don't know, just inching my way towards Nepal, trying to be efficient about the airfare and junk. And yeah, it was like a few days before this 2-week thing. I was actually in Kathmandu staying with a new friend, and it was 2 days before this 2-week thing was going to start. And I was like, fuck, like, it's still an empty seat. Feels like a fucking shame to waste this. So I posted something on couchsurfing at the time when couchsurfing was still rocking and rolling, on the Nepal or Kathmandu group. And I was pretty vague, and I was just like, because you can post events and stuff on couchsurfing, at least you could. And I just posted sort of like mystery get together or something kind of vague. And I think only one person replied, maybe one other, but the only person who replied and was actually like somewhat curious and serious was this girl, India Jane. So she'd been on the road. She's from the UK, and she'd been traveling around for about a year, just backpacking guitar, hitchhiking around, just having a good old time, but like a solid year on the road. And I think when I got her on the phone, she was in the San Francisco airport and had a ticket to Kathmandu. It was like, waiting at the gate. So I explained to her, I was like, all right, this is the situation. Here's all the crazy stuff. It's like I said, paragliding and elephants and all this junk. And I'm like, they say everything's paid for. Like, I don't think it's a scam. I don't know. You never know. You never know. Even when I check into like one of those free hotels in like Vegas and stuff, it doesn't feel real until the door opens, and I'm actually in the room. So I was like, this is the whole deal. And yeah, if they try to pull anything or something, it's like, I don't have any money. Like, so I'm like, I'm not tricking you. Like, I don't think they're tricking us, me. Like, I don't know. If you want to try it out with me, we can do it. So she was like, yeah, that sounds wild. So sure enough, she met me right there in front of the first hotel in Kathmandu where things were supposed to kick off, and it sure did. It was just 2 weeks of everything that they promised. Like, no snags whatsoever. And yeah, it was just awesome. So we spent the 2 weeks doing the whole thing, going all over the country. They drove us around from Kathmandu to Pokhara and in between. Yeah, the rafting and all the fun stuff. Yeah, everything taken care of, and just awesome. And then we spent a few days or a week or something after that just hitchhiking around, just checking out some other stuff. And yeah, haven't seen her since. And I think she stopped traveling, actually, just couple months or not long after that, and has been in the UK ever since. So we've sent a message back and forth here and there. But yeah, back to current time, I was like, hey, saw her on trip hopping. She was in Southampton, just kind of a reminder, and sent her a message. And yes, that's where I was aiming for, coming from Gatwick Airport to fill in the couple days before Molly and the yoga thing. Drink a little more of this beer here. So yeah, that took a little longer than I thought, just because from Gatwick Airport, if anyone else is thinking of hitchhiking out of there, it might be easier to hitchhike straight up to London. But getting down south from there, it's just trickier. Just the road going out of there, there's literally no shoulder. It would have been impossible for any car to stop without, yeah, just getting rammed from behind, really. Like, it was just not doable. So I had to walk into the town there, and then even the on-ramps there in that town called Crawley were just whatever. So that was like 2 hours of walking just to get down and through that town. And, pardon me, finally was able to hitch a ride from this girl who said she's done a little bit of traveling. She said she was going to Thailand at the end of the month. So she picked me up, got me to the next town. Not too far, but at least she got me there. Had to walk out of that town because she just took me to the center. So that was like another hour of walking. Got another ride from a guy in a van who was super cool. And he kind of got me, further. Actually felt like I was moving. A good 20, 30-minute ride at least. And yeah, it was just a bunch of walking. All together, it was 5 different rides to finally get to Southampton. Another girl after that picked me up, and then some dude who was just going a short ways. And then the last ride was this really cool girl. Also said she's done a bunch of traveling and stuff like that. So she was going all the way up to Manchester. So she was able to drop me off right here in Southampton on the way. And yeah, went to a Wetherspoons, which is kind of my default little spot in England. If you've been to England before, Wetherspoons is like a chain of pubs where beers are cheap. I guess food is pretty cheap. And yeah, it's just a good spot if you want to, if you're traveling, charge up your stuff and use some Wi-Fi, or drink a cheap beer while you're waiting for coffee or whatever. And most cities have like 2 or 3 or 8 of them, these Wetherspoons, and they all have different names, and they're, look a little different. It's a cool spot. So waited there, and then, caught up with India last night. She cooked up some pasta, had some beers in the fridge, and just caught up on what her life has been like since then, which is, kind of cool catching up. Like, the way she put it, like, her whole travel thing was like a whole lifetime ago. Like, because she still does little trips here and there, but not like that year or so she spent on the road nonstop. A little different. But yeah, good to catch up with her on all the stuff I've been doing, etc. And got up this morning before she went to school, and then spent the day just kind of walking around the city. Went to her campus, met a couple of her classmates or whatever. Had lunch on the campus, poked around more of the city, found a brewery. It was decent, called Dancing Man. Decent little brewery, by English standards, I guess. And made my way back here. So she'll be back here anytime. And tomorrow I will hitchhike on over to Southampton, which is maybe like an hour drive away, and then I'll have 4 or 5 days or a week doing the thing over there. So that's what's up. Let me get into the outro and wrap this up. All right, so that's what's going on. Like I said, gonna be 5 days or so shooting some video, doing whatever over there with Molly, and then who knows. I'm over here, so maybe screw around in England a little bit more, maybe go to Scotland, maybe run over to the Netherlands. It's hard to be this close to Walter and not go see what he's up to. So just kind of winging it. 2 weeks ago, I had no idea I'd be here, so maybe in 2 weeks I'll be also somewhere I could never predict. That's kind of the deal. Yeah, I'm excited. Gonna periodically keep poking away at trip hopping. Try to do another like a good collective session later this year somewhere in the world. So yeah, keep on saying it. If you're not on the app yet, fucking get on there. There's too many good little travel things on there. Too many useful little toys not to use it. Just even stupid stuff. I got weather working on there now, which sounds so stupid, but like it's just nice to, you can long press anywhere on the map and just like see the weather in that place. That's super simple, but it's just really convenient and kind of nice, especially if you're hitchhiking or you're just looking at somewhere you might go later, and just I don't know, save that little extra step. All you gotta do is like press down and see the weather. I don't know. I just keep adding like all these little things that add up, and yeah, that's why, like I said, I'm using the app every day. Yeah, but that's about it. Yeah, that's it. Happy days. I hope you guys are doing awesome, and fucking A. I will see you down the road. Plans I made, I need a new escape. With all my shit straight, I'll get my big brain.